Hello, people, and welcome to another exciting episode of Who's That Anime with your host Steve and co-host Colin. I call myself co-host because I got cool in my name.
Like if you had like a crossword, you'd have who is the co-host of Who's That Anime, and it's Colin, 5 letters, and then down on the O is what's the name for a person who helps host a podcast? It's co-host.
Oh yeah,
Down
yeah.
the side.
That'd be we should do a crossword. We should make a crossword and
We,
stick it
we
on Facebook.
we really shouldn't, since I gave away the answer to one of the questions
Two,
with the other question.
two
Um,
questions.
yeah, I've created a crossword. It's how many questions? It's got two. It's 2 words. And one of the questions has the answer to the other one. So it's very quick, and is only achievable really if you've ever listened to this podcast. So
Yeah, well, three. You can have three. I got the third question right here, and that's what do we watch? And then you can have that intersect to the initial my name.
oh yeah. So we're back after having watched DG Chara or Kara, however you want to pronounce that.
Chara?
Um, Chara.
It's got a T at
Uh,
the end.
it does, yeah.
I don't
And
know.
that was fun. A weird segue for a week.
That was
Um,
insane. But
As
then,
promised, and as you've already hinted, like there's the clue is that we're now back with Serial Experiments Lain.
which is just as insane, only not quite as funny.
No, it definitely deals with some very real world topics. Um, I watched this first in I think 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so sort of at the not the birth of the internet for me, but like the transition from 56K modem to broadband era. Um, So the internet and the way it's talked about in this, uh, I understand, but also the kind of way they talk about it in a sort of a future-proofing sort of way. Oh, you're zooming up into it. There we go. Oh, we found your face.
Yep, finally found my face. Yep.
Audio medium, for those who don't know, is like Colin is using his webcam to find his face.
Sort of, yeah. I just made the box bigger for me. Uh,
My webcam does not find my face.
no.
Um,
Segway,
it doesn't.
got a YouTube channel. Might see this on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. There's an episode up already.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway,
another place for you to watch. You can watch it, or you can listen to it there. It's entirely up to you.
you get to see our beautiful, beautiful faces.
Exactly. And I bet my office did not look this messy
At the start, no.
uh, when I started this show. Um, like this last couple of weeks, I've basically lived in this room, um, and it's been a long 2 weeks. So, yeah. But
Oh,
yes, the way that this show talks about the internet, it is very reminiscent of the internet of that era, but also talks about it in a very sort of futuristic way in terms of what it can achieve sometimes.
yeah. I felt they call computers navies in this.
Yeah,
And I felt the navi is very much of an AOL Inc. type interface.
totally. It's the like here's your email, here's your web browsing thing, but it does voice recognition and which is kind of cool.
Mhm.
Um, but of course, like our protagonist, um, Lane,
Mhm.
who is a 14-year-old girl in school, she's not into Navi's computers at all. That's kind of the setup for the show is she's not into that stuff. Um, but we sort of I said we would talk about this because we've obviously played the intro for people that are watching the video if it hasn't been copyright struck because of the song. which it probably will do in a number of places.
Yeah.
Um, the introduction song is called can't remember what it's called, but it's by Boa,
Uh-huh.
and it's a great song.
It is. Sounds kind of the music ilk of the time, because this was actually a 90s anime, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's 1999. I want to say. Oh, the song is called Duvet. That's why. Yeah, it's called Duvet.
Duvet, as in the bed
Yeah,
cover.
yeah, your bed cover, like Dove.
Yeah, Duvet. Um, I'm trying to think of the song that it refers to being in bed.
I don't think it ever does,
No. Do 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 do
but
do do.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's a good song. Uh, and apparently, what I wasn't aware of until like doing a little bit more reading is that Boa is actually an English band.
Yeah. I,
I always had it in my head that it was just a Japanese band singing in English. I don't know why.
oh, it's too good to be Japanese English speaking bands, I feel. But that might be.
You're right.
Should,
You're
I
right.
don't
It
think it
probably
mixes any Japanese into it, does it?
no, it doesn't. It's purely English. It's
Yeah.
purely English, and I think that's one of the nice things about this is that there's no concession made where it was like, it has to be like a Japanese song or a hat, like, because the majority of the stuff, like, and it's okay, like, it doesn't bother me or anything, and obviously, like, it's it's your show, you do what you want with it, but I think there have been very few animes where I've watched where it hasn't been a Japanese group or artist who has performed the intro or outro.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing is like, there is some English in them,
Yeah.
but more often than not, it's just broadly in Japanese.
Yeah. That's kind of how you expect it. I mean, the only ones I can think of it um, are the westernized versions of the theme songs where they change the theme song up. Or like Pokemon.
Yeah,
Don't think that's the song in Japan, is it?
I don't.
Pokemon! Or
It's a good
Dragon
song
Ball
though.
Z.
The Dragon Ball Z. There's two different ones in the West as well.
God.
There's the standard that one, and then there's
Oh,
like a more sort of a trip hop version that starts with dragon, and it's also very good.
Dragon. Dragon. Dragon Ball.
Oh, it's
Dragon
so
Ball Z.
good. I love
It's,
Dragon Ball Z. It's so dumb and so amazing. Like, it is the thing that tipped my love of anime because I'd watched it as a kid, like watching stuff I definitely shouldn't have watched.
mm,
Um, and then when they started to show Tenchi Muyo and Dragon Ball Z and like Big O
oh,
and
yeah.
stuff on Cartoon Network, like, I was sold. And then they also had Tekkaman Blade or Technoman in the West. That was
Alright.
pretty good. And I enjoyed that. That was on Fox Kids. Actually, so was Tenchi Muyo. Now that I think about it,
Yeah. I was watching Shaman King. Shaman King's on Netflix now.
I've never watched that.
It's just the first season, but it comes up saying Netflix original, and I'm thinking, I watched this 20 years ago. It's not not bloody original.
Net- Netflix is an older company than you expect, sir.
Oh, I understand, but still, it's not a Netflix original.
Oh yeah, they totally made it. You
Oh
know,
yeah, yeah, they made it and sold it to Fox Kids because it was on that
let's
extreme
do the pop
Fox
quiz. Let's do the pop quiz, Colin. What year? What year was Netflix founded?
96.
Very close. 97.
Because I knew it was a
It was
DVD
DVD
rental,
rental.
but
Yeah.
the sense posted it. It was kind of like the Love Film over in the UK, which was
Yep.
bought by Amazon, I believe.
Yep. And then they killed it.
and then they killed it because they brought out Prime.
Yeah, they just wanted to do with the competition, I think.
And that.
So yeah,
I mean,
but yeah, Boa and Duvet is a good song, and it segues. It's this really sort of very pretty, uh, kind of nice indie rock song of the time.
mhm.
Um, and then obviously the show starts, and it's this extremely sort of somber color scheme as well. I think one of the things, it's very pastel, like it's purples and dark blues, and contrasted with like high color neons.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and there's the constant hum of
y-
electricity.
yeah. Is that just in the first?
I
In the
think that
first?
exists in the silence of the episodes I've watched.
Yeah. Well, it kind of because at the moment the first two episodes are kind of like about communication over the wired, as it's called,
Yes, the Wired, the internet, the
or
Wired.
yeah, basically the internet for us in the real
Yeah,
world. And that's kind of maybe also a point in why maybe they use an English song because we're all connected rather than solely in Japanese. But maybe I'm just reading into that too much. Hey,
it could be a point, as is that
if
it's definitely further reaching than just the thing.
yeah,
I think the other thing that's quite interesting about Serial Experiments Lane is this was not a manga. This is just an anime.
that's just an anime, was it? I thought that
From
was
what I understand, I don't believe there's a manga. I could be wrong.
what
I'm
there
just
was.
gonna. Oh, maybe there was.
Generally, these things.
Oh, hang on though. The manga came after.
Okay, okay, that makes some more sense.
So the show ran in '98, and then there was a game, as we talked about,
Yeah, I think I
uh,
mentioned it last
that
week.
also came out in '98.
Yeah, for the PlayStation.
And then in '99 there was a manga.
Yeah, should play the game.
We should.
Another
I
segue right there. We do live streams on Twitch on Couchfield
This
and
is unprecedented, Colin. I'm loving this new sort of
Hail
just
Paymon.
like just going for the gusto on the advertising. It's like, there's a good segue here. Let's use it. I love it.
Yeah, may as well.
Yeah, we play games and stuff sometimes, and we did discuss like at one point, as Colin is on twitch.tv/couchfuel and I'm on twitch.tv/hailpayman, and we play games, mostly horror ones for me, and generally sometimes I come and hang out and we do couchfuel stuff, and it's just whatever takes the fancy at the time, to be honest.
Pretty much, yeah. Um, Also YouTube channels for both the channels. Uh, yeah. So
Yeah,
let's
there's
get back.
archives of all the stuff there. Yeah, so
Yeah.
back to it. You're right. Uh, there's I think that the thing I find fascinating about this show is, of course, is it's like 20 plus years old now already.
Mhm.
Um, it was dealing with some interesting topics at the time, and of course, the start of the first episode is a high school girl who is leaning over the edge of a high building in the city center.
Mhm. So we climbed over the railings and holding onto the railing
Yeah.
and leaning over with the glasses outstretched. Should
Yep.
mention this.
And I think at that point, I don't think we really know what's going on. Like we don't really think like I don't think we really
No.
feel like it's going to take the turn it does. It's difficult to say.
Yeah.
Uh, and it does indeed take a turn that is something, as she just leaps from the roof.
Yeah. She just decides to let go of the banister and falls. So there's a scene before that where she's on the ground in pain of some sort. I think she's kind of crouched over and people laugh at her. Oh, look at that girl! So
Yeah,
it
it's
kind of
like,
makes
yes, yes, and you're right. I did miss that, and I think the point of that kind of comes into. I think that becomes more apparent why she's made the choice she's made when they sent sort of. Of course, she dies.
yeah
She's not surviving that fall,
Doesn't help
There's a
she
big
gets
ruckus
crushed
around that. Yeah.
by a big sign.
But of course, a week after she does this, all of her classmates receive an email from her
Yeah.
explaining that it's cool. I just got rid of my body. We're good.
Yeah. There's some context. Well, sometimes it'll flash up with words, kanji on the screen, and it'll also translate for us
Yeah.
because we're totally illiterate. I'm just illiterate in every language. But anyway, I think it went along the lines and said, I don't like this place anymore, type thing.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to leave it, pretty much. I think that was basically the context of the word. Now, so the week later, then in the class, there's a girl crying in the background of the class, and people talking and go, "Oh, what?" And then Lane walks in and goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah, what's up with her?" type
What's
thing.
wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she does it in a weirdy kind of way, like she herself doesn't feel right in she's feels like a very much an outcast in the class.
It's interesting. You're right. She definitely behaves like one,
Mhm.
but I don't think she is because people seem interested in her. Like
Yeah,
they might give her a hard time, but they want her to take part in stuff. Um, I think the thing for me that's interesting is like it's because I feel like the whole thing is themed on this connection. It's like the connection we have with the world, with other people, and like you said, it's like at the start of it, that girl who jumped off the roof, she is like her body. It's something about her body that is causing others to laugh or to bully or whatever that is, and it's that sort of thing. It's like, oh, but I can just exist as me, and then they can't make fun of me because I'm just my thoughts.
yeah,
And it's that sort of weird disconnect between the physical and the mental. And for Lane, it's like she's physically engaged in the world because she's there, but she's not mentally engaged with anything except herself. She just seems completely shuttered and disconnected from everyone.
yeah. So should maybe go back a step as well to see when Lane walks out of her house, like you
Hmm.
say, it's pastel, but it's literally kind of a white. It's just pure white, like
Yep.
one of those scenes from like Looney Tunes where they get rubbed out and they're not in the scene and they're getting attacked by the artist.
Yep.
Uh, type thing, and there's the shades, the shadows to like note the stairs that she's climbing down. It's like kind of like say blue with red spots in them.
Yeah, it is. It's a dark purplish bluish area, like a shadow, but there's a movement, like a flow of these red patches.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
it,
I
it's
noticed
weird.
it. Yeah, I noticed it in like the scene where she's falling off thing. It's kind of like shadow. It's weird how they shade that. It's kind of weird. She gets into a train because also she commutes to the school.
Yep.
Uh, and she's hearing all the humming noises that you were mentioning before. And then she basically screams at Charter Place in the train, "Will you just shut up?" to try and quiet it all down. And then she stares at the wires. And she gets to school. Um, and she's mentioned that everyone just kind of stares at her like she's mad
Yeah.
on the train. Gets to school. Person's crying. Received an email from Chelsea, who's the girl that killed herself.
Chisa.
Chisa, yeah.
Chisa
Uh,
Yomada.
and they're trying to console the girl that's upset about this, and people are saying, "Oh, that's weird because she's dead," and then they had to explain to Lane that she killed her, she's dead, because Lane didn't pick up on this fact.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, she seems really detached on that fact as well.
yeah. Oh, she's
Like
dead.
everyone else is innate. Yeah, it's like innately keyed into the fact that that's exactly what that means, but she takes a long time
Yeah.
to kind of figure that part out.
Yeah. She seems attached on that. It's like, one of our classmates does call, oh, Baby Lane doesn't use computers, is a statement is said. And the other one would be nicer is like, oh, you really should check your emails once or often because they're like emails.
Yeah, well, what's an email?
Well, it's an email type thing. Oh, right, yeah, maybe I should. Um, and then after that point, she goes home after school and
She
boots
does
up
go
her
home.
nabby.
Well, yeah, like her old broken ass Navi
Yeah, her
that's
old,
tired and slow.
yeah, doesn't seem that slow to me, but
No, but we know that it's definitely an older one.
yeah. And then so she logs in, and this is where it's kind of like AOL, where she's logging in. Um, and it says voice recognition to confirm is the password. So they go with your voice pattern over actually typing the password in. Look at
Yeah,
letters on the GUI. How you like that?
I don't like the GUI at all. It looks like a horror show to use.
Yeah, yeah. It seems it's like she typed in the lane. It's kind of coasting from one side and around. And it's like, what? Okay, that's just over
Over
I think
engineered.
over engineered. Well, yeah, over engineered and just went for the arty style over practicality, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Style over substance.
Yeah, on that
The
one.
do you know? And I talking about user interfaces, and sorry to like segue into something random, but I normally in my car use my phone's GPS when I'm traveling,
Uh-huh.
because I plug it in and it brings it up on the screen. But sometimes, like when I'm just want to check something, I might use there's an inbuilt GPS in the car.
Hmm.
So I push the button and I tap the thing to start typing where I'm going. Fucking keyboard is not in QWERTY.
What? Well, is it
It's
just
in alphabetical order.
especially that
And
annoys you to
I
no
don't
end.
know what. Yeah, like the person who created the user experience for that keyboard should be ashamed.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the reason the QWERTY keyboard was invented was this is supposedly to slow down the typists so they didn't jam the keys when they typed away
Yeah,
or allow them to
it's
type
it's to,
faster.
to put to put. Yeah, it does a combination of both. It's the best of both worlds,
Hmm.
but also like it makes sense because the English language is in a position that works. But putting it just in alphabetical order, it's like that's madness. Who does that? Why? Why would you ever do that?
Can you not change it to QWERTY?
I haven't tried because the user interface in that car is fairly atrocious anyway.
Most user interfaces not in cars are they kind of slow because they're just I don't know running on a Raspberry Pi or something in the background. But I
Oh,
think
I
Raspberry Pi would be
like
faster.
yeah, I think a Raspberry Pi would be.
Um, yeah. Uh, so she logs in, reads the email, and like you say, is it's like, hey, yeah, I'm just died. Don't worry, and
Yeah,
talks about
I
God and
gave up my
stuff.
body. Yeah,
Yeah,
I gave up my body. I'm still alive, just not in the physical world anymore. I'm in the wired. And that God exists here. I think that is I find messaging like that always so ominous, and it always strikes me and is like mm, it's such a cliche, such a cliche type of line, but anytime I hear that sort of thing, I'm like, oh, cool. Let's find out more about that. I
Exactly
get
what Lane
super
was
into it.
about. Yeah, Lane was Lane was had that same feeling. I got to learn more.
What was that?
Lane was super into it too. She wanted to learn
Yeah,
more.
yeah, exactly. And I think like it does it in it doesn't feel cliche.
Mhm.
Um, but there's something about this that to me feels like sort of 1970s high concept sci-fi. You know, like around the time that Stephen King would have written Lawnmower Man type stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
there's a little bit in there where it's like that. That's a little bit what the plot feels like to a degree.
Yeah, yeah. It does feel like there's something like that going to happen, I suppose. It's all about
But yeah,
ascension into the digital world.
yeah. So
Ooh,
she's given up her body. She's now in the wired, and apparently there's a god there,
is it,
which is interesting.
yeah, you think she's got a pet monster?
I can only hope so.
Oh, maybe this is like the prequel to Digimon.
I was worrying more that there's a god here and it's Haruhi.
Oh no, no, I think that's a different reality. But then again, maybe it's the thought consciousness computer that controls them all.
Yeah, potentially. And I think that's I think the thing for me is like it starts off the conversation because now we're in the era of artificial intelligence. It's like, well, is God someone like you who's given up your physical form to be a part of a more connected and digital world, or is the God there born of the digital?
Yeah,
Were they ever were they ever a body? Or, you know,
yeah, that's kind of maybe. Is it the next scene? She's going back to school, and there's a big sudden stop on the train, and then she stares out the
yeah.
window, and she sees what looks like the cables of the ele- uh,
The
elect
telephone cable, the electrical cables.
the electrical cables. Yeah, the pylon cables bleeding,
Yeah.
and then she has
Like
some crazy vision from that.
it's
Something.
all very weird.
Yeah,
Like it's about the sort of it's like her awakening to connection that she needed to make. Like because it feels like even when we see her interact with the school and the people who are maybe not her friends, but like her peers and the teachers or even her family, she's just so dissociated. She's not there. She's not engaged. She's just present.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah. Reminds me about another scene. So they're sitting around the table before that, aren't they? Having a meal.
yeah,
She
they
has an
are.
older
Yeah.
sister and a mother.
Yep.
Or is that later? Anyway, sitting around the table, the older sister and the mother. The mother is constantly on her phone, from it looks like, or a tablet, some like device. The
Yep.
sister says, I'm not actually hungry, and walks away. She asks for some food before. Lane says to her mom, I got an email from one of my friends.
Yep.
And the mom just like, doesn't say anything.
Yeah. I. It's quite sad. Like there's a because it makes you feel like because it there are obvious attempts for her to try. It, she feels it's funny because of the subject matter. Like she feels like she is, um, like a piece of hardware trying to interface with something. That's what it feels like. She doesn't feel like a human trying to have a conversation. She feels like she's trying to like initiate a handshake to begin a process. Like
Yeah,
it never feels like a human conversation. It always feels very perfunctory. Like I'm gonna say this thing because I know that this will should hopefully get you to react, and then we can begin the transfer of information. Yeah, there's something very mechanical about her approach to socializing in a
Mhm.
way that, like I say, it just feels like very perfunctory rather than actually necessary. And to me, like when she gets that email, it sort of feels like it's the kind of awakening of there's a thing here, there's a connection you're missing, and the connections you're trying to make aren't the ones that are important. There's more that you need to try and do.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. So, um, what I should say about the interaction with the mum doesn't seem to literally.
no, she just doesn't care.
She just doesn't recognize that Lane's even there type thing, even though she's made food for her.
Yeah.
Also, I would want to just point out there's a bit where it kind of like it's zoomed out on the table, and the mother's got like lipstick, like she's the Joker on her face.
Oh, really? I
It's
didn't
just
notice that.
just the way it was drawn. It's zoomed out, and then lipstick's like right like that, like if a kid's putting lipstick on a person. Anyway,
The uh, the dad and her seem very like barely a couple.
oh, the dad and the wife, yeah,
Yeah, they don't seem. He's a techie. That's like because we're gonna see that Lane approaches him to talk about upgrading her computer, her
mhm.
Navi. But there are scenes where the mother and father are interacting, and it seems either like arguing or again very sort of necessary conversation. There's no care in it.
But that might be further into the show. I certainly don't think there was any conversation in the first episode between them.
I thought they did talk in the first one.
Uh, no. Father just kind of
Oh,
came home and Lane was lying in her bed. Got
oh
up.
wait. She was lying in her bed. That means she was wearing the bear onesie, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Or
We talk the bear. Can we talk about the bear onesie for a minute?
you can buy those.
It's amazing, and I want one.
You can't buy them. They're called Codis or something.
Wait, what?
KODIs. Yeah, do all sorts of animals.
What?
Well, like done in felt though, so they're not that great.
I need that, Colin. I need it in my life. It just looks like a level of comfort that I'm okay with. I'm gonna look into that later. But I don't know why I find the contrast of her finding comfort in that quite funny in a way.
Yeah,
It seems like such a quirky thing for someone who is, as I say, like very matter of fact in how they approach everything.
yeah. Um. So yeah. So she gets out. Dad comes out, and he's got a PC card sticking in his machine, and she
Yeah,
goes speaks to him. Oh, I need the upgrade, and he's like, "Oh, you're getting into the world of like computing." So they have like a bit more rapport than anyone else so far,
yeah.
even though she
But
doesn't
again,
really respond.
yeah, but it's means to an end, right?
Yeah,
She wants something. It's an interaction. It's a perfunctory interaction. It's not a caring one. I think that's the thing I get from the general conversations that are in the show so far is that the emotions are not from her
no, no, there's
more often
never.
than not.
Yeah,
She's
certainly.
relatively in fact the most emotion we see in the first episode is, as you say, is like when she tells the noise to shut up. Like that
Yeah,
is like that's an angry response that like is
yeah,
surprising.
yeah, and her dad is certainly most excited about that. So it's kind of like the show's trying to teach you about emotions at the moment. I think what are emotions? So you had the sadness from the girl, had despair, I suppose, from the girl that killed herself.
Yeah,
Dad's kind of happy. Um, the mother's very distant.
I don't know.
Uh,
I feel like
but
there's an element of envy from the mother of the daughter, and I don't know why. Like I just read that. That's the read I would get. And the
yeah,
dad, I'd like there's a happiness there, but it feels more like a gluttony of of what he's interested in, like the computers. Like they're everywhere. His
he's
room
got
is like
yeah, he's got
all
six
over the place.
CRTs. That
Yeah.
shows you the age of them.
So like he's but yeah, if like to me it seems almost gluttonous to have
And
that.
it's
Like
yeah, and it's him. It teaches Lane that the wired is the form of communication to have essentially. But yeah, he's certainly very ecstatic because end of the scene he goes yeah as he's typing away in the computer, and it's I don't know if he was in like some group chat, porn chats or something.
who
Um,
knows?
it's because you boot it up and there's a lady, there's two guys or no faces on the monitors, and he's done something and he screams ecstatically. He's got somewhere with something. Also, the
Yep.
interface of his machine is very much like Windows 3.1 or maybe a Mac
Yeah, yeah,
interface.
like early Mac OS.
Yeah, which again is just dating it, I think. The what else? Oh, and there's been at least two scenes in this episode where you see the characters move their lips, but there's no words, no audio part.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and one of the scenes is when she's talking with her dad. She says something like, "Oh, you got to be careful," or something like that. And she says something, and then says, "Oh, don't worry, I'm not scared. I can handle this."
I I wonder again, like this. I'm probably reading too much into it. I just know that there's a deeper meaning to this show, like generally. So
Mhm.
speculating to it is interesting, and like I feel like there's the lack of audio at those sections is like an inability to process the information. It's like you lack the ability to understand, like it would just mean nothing to you.
Yeah,
So but I find that interesting because it's almost admittance of it's like, well, something's going to happen here. It's relatively important to what's happening in this scene. The scene will continue
mhm.
as you can perceive and as you can deal with, but there's going to be something said that you are not going to understand, but it will mean something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's just basically a form of censorship, like you say. But I think they're just swearing because like the first one was the woman and she jumps off. I think and it's like, oh fuck, and she jumps off, and then Elaine might be just getting pissed off with her dad yapping and says,
So
shut the fuck
I
up.
think it's a deep and meaningful sort of piece of commentary, and you think it's a way that they censor people from swearing.
Yeah. No, no. I think watching on Funimation it's an 18.
Yeah, I don't know that that's true, but maybe it is. Uh,
Certainly some violence. So you had
I
blood
think
on the
where I bought mine from, they don't have an age rating on them, so
yeah. God, we're not even halfway through this episode as such. Well, the
well,
premise.
the kind of it kind of slows down a little bit towards the end. There's not so much that happens in the last half because it's very slow. Because it's the part where she then goes back to school after having told her dad that she wants the PC upgrade or the Navi upgrade.
Yep.
Um, she talks more with the kids in school and tells them that she got the email too.
Yeah, she does say that. And there's a bit she's sitting in class crying eventually, but like this is the bit she zones out and has like the weird dream about being next to a railway crossing and some girl walks in front of the train.
Yeah,
And then she's in the corridor or something in school and there's like a ghost person walks out of a room or a cupboard or something. And then like two shadow figures kind of walk by her and they're like they got like the dark purpley shade with lighter purple in them.
Yeah.
And then she's
So
crying in the class, and then teachers tell, "This is going to be on the test."
I know. That's why I'm crying.
Yeah,
Um, I to me it seems like it's almost like she's kind of drifted off into. To me, it's like it's these are things she has experienced and shut out
maybe, yeah,
because like the maybe witnessing someone walk in front of a train is definitely not something you have a lot of ease processing, but the concept that that person might now still be okay somewhere else is a revelation. And then like the scene of like the figures and things like that, it's like maybe that's something she's seen at some point and just went, I didn't see that. But then
maybe,
like the realization of it's like there's more than just what you see every day, uh
yeah.
and that's real, that there's something else.
Or because this happened, so she was on the train to school, and the train
Yep.
suddenly stops and jerks her about, and
Yep.
someone makes a past comment, "Did we hit someone?" type thing. And
Yeah.
she looks up, sees the blood on the cables,
That's right.
and then it cuts into the
Yeah.
scene. So maybe she's kind of like somehow tapped into the wire already and viewed it from a different angle, and that's what she's doing.
And it's, yeah, she's seeing what that person did
Yeah,
at that moment.
and then
Yeah.
that was kind of the person's face. It appears from the cupboard in that one. And then there's like two shadowy figures things, which I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, it's difficult to say. But yeah, like her time at school is kind of done for the day almost at that point. So I think I can't remember. No, it's the next one where they kind of start talking. She talks more with the friends about hanging out and stuff. But so she heads home and meets her. She gets home and she's home alone. She's home on her own first because the guy comes to deliver the parcel.
no,
The
no,
cheery delivery man.
that's still the second episode, I think.
Is it? Because I
Yeah,
thought she got the. Did she not get the upgrade in the first one?
no, because I think she's walking home and she sees uh Chichara, Chichara,
Chisa.
Ch-
Chisa.
Chichara,
The
no,
girl that killed herself.
girl killed herself, and
That's Chisa.
yeah, she's walking down the other side of the street or something, and then Lane kind of looks up and goes, "Wait," and then she just disappears behind her,
Yeah.
and then it ends at that point.
Is there not like a message that's written on the board in the first episode in the school, and that's why she starts crying?
No, because she looks at it after that, and there's a few times when she's in school. For example, when they're first in school and they're talking about the email and she's not got it, and then the teacher comes in and starts
Yeah.
teaching it. She's looking at the board and it's like some computer language. It's like if A is less
Yeah.
than B, print F.
I think it looked like C to me
Uh,
the
yeah,
first time.
I think it's some form of like C. I mean, print.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's pretty
Print
some
F is C.
print F C.
I think so.
Maybe I can't remember. It's just been a long time since.
C plus plus is they they changed it. I'm sure you can
I,
still use printf in C plus plus though.
yeah, it's just a.
Oh no, maybe it's C plus plus.
Uh, it's a
Oh
language.
no, yeah, printf is the name of one of the main C output functions.
Yeah,
Print formatted. Yeah, so like that's from C. Yeah.
yeah. And she stares at the board and is trying to focus on it
Yeah.
because it goes all blurry, like she needs glasses or something. But
Yeah.
didn't make any comment on that.
But there's like a is there not there's a message on the board that's from Chisa.
There's certainly some English because she's in the English class when she's crying, I think, and it's
It's there's something that's like telling her to come,
to the wired.
she should come to the Wired.
Uh,
I can't remember if that's why she's upset though.
no, that because that scene goes from the train, the blood, to the visions, and then she's in class, and the teacher wakes her up and goes, "Hey, this is going to be on the test. Look at the board."
Yeah,
And then she looks at the board.
that's a good
Uh,
point. Then she looks bored. But yeah, you're right. And then like
yeah,
the episode ends after Chisa disappears.
yeah. So there's a hell of a lot more going on and fairly uh, subtly putting putting
Yeah.
into your face type thing. Born like Haruhi Suzumiya was. It was kind of like subvertly there, but not.
Oh, the thing about in Haruhi, it had to all be spelled out because it was so mental.
Mm. So
Whereas like
convoluted.
yeah, like but I feel like the thing that Serial Experiments Lane does differently is that it's still a bit nuts,
Hmm.
but but you can take people where you want them to be by hinting at certain things.
Yeah, it certainly does that. So that's kind of like the end, the first episode, the 40 minutes in.
What did you think? What would you rate it?
Well, the rate is certainly intriguing as a thing. It keeps you going, okay, not much really happening in this, but you can see it going somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
It's, it's slow. It's a slow anime.
it is. Yeah,
Um,
it's a slow.
so I don't know. I'm gonna go a six. Let's just go six. It's not terrible. It's good. It's slow. It's not got anything worthwhile in it just yet. As such, there's hints to things, but
Yeah. There's little
it's
tasters.
until it's not like you got like the hook of going, hey, look, we're being slayed in like underground and we're not allowed to go above ground. Holy shit! There's a big fuck off monsters coming falling out of the sky through our thing and jumping up there. Like you're hooked. That's the first
Yeah,
episode. Gurren Lagann.
it's true.
Oh, also the
And there's like
bikini.
they find the tiny head
Yeah, the tiny
robot.
head. Well, yeah, and also the bikini class sniper woman.
Yes, she's very
Also, fun.
popular. I understand.
She is. I wonder why.
Yeah, it's definitely nothing to do with her clothes or lack of. I'm gonna say a 7.
Okay.
I think you're right. Like, you're right. It's not brilliant yet, but I can feel like there's stuff that I want to explore more coming, which is cool. I should have
Yeah.
said as well that the first episode is called Weird.
Is it weird? It is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, first episode is called Weird. And now on to episode 2, which is called Girls or Girls, as it's done in the
Yeah, that's right. It's got some
show.
weird ass announcement for the
Weird,
episodes.
weird, overly processed voice.
Yeah.
Weird Girls.
Do you like the start of the intro where it goes present day, present time, and it laughs at you?
Yeah,
Fuck's that all about?
very odd. I do not know. It's weird.
Yeah.
Uh, do you want to kick us off? Where are we going in this next episode then?
All right. Let's start off with Lane walking out the door, and then some creepy man is just staring at a lamppost.
That I couldn't remember if that was in the first one or not. But she's just like walking along the street and yeah, he's just staring.
Yeah, he looks like he's staring at a lamppost, and then she walks by and has a wee side glance up, and he kind of like either staring at her at that point or not. Anyway,
Yeah.
it is the only time you see that guy so far in this episode, and then she runs away, and then it starts the intro,
Yep.
and then after the intro, you're in a nightclub with a guy
Yeah.
taking,
Hardcore Techno Club.
yeah, Siberia, spelled with a
No, it's a
C,
great name. It's
not
a
an
great
S.
name.
It should be a nice bar. It was Siberia, man.
10 out of 10 for the club name alone.
It's pretty good. It's good
Or
cyberspace and
11
all
out
that.
of 10. 11 out of 10.
11 out of 10. It
Yeah.
broke the system, man. It broke the system.
Shit.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the guy there is being a bit weird and is buying some drinks and um an egg sack. What looks like an egg sack
Yeah.
potentially. Which turns out to be a new drug. What is it called?
Accela.
Xello. Which is
I
essentially,
assume short for accelerate.
yeah, I think that's the reason it's that. Though
Yeah.
it partly has nanobots in it, which improves your brain factor by 12,
Yeah.
and your thought processing also by 20 or something. Faster, I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, so basically it takes it, and then everything kind of slows down because obviously his brain's working a hell of a lot faster. It's kind of like, what was that movie?
Limitless.
Limitless, yeah. And TV series, it's kind of basically Limitless, where the guy's,
Yeah.
well, I know everything now. Only not really.
What if we only use 10% of our brain? Here's a clue. We don't use that. We use like all of our brain. It's we don't only use 10% of our brain. That is not a thing.
It's not a truth, fact.
Never been a thing. Let's dispel the myth here and now.
What are you on about,
You
the
use all
myth?
of your brain.
It's the trees that are the giant trees that are mountains.
Oh, I swear to God, like that video. Just a bit of context is like Colin decided to send me this wackadoodle fucking TikTok bullshit video of a guy who's like, "Oh my God, like, did you know that like trees used to be huge, like 1,000 times bigger, and so did people. And like we've got proof, it's right in front of your eyes. It's like, look at this mountain. Doesn't it look like this broken tree trunk? It's like that's because trees used to be big and mountains are tree trunks.
Yeah, fossilized tree trunks, apparently. Also, he also claims that if the pyramids were built for big people.
Oh, he did, yeah.
And I was like, have you not seen the when the tombs when they go into them, they're fucking very small compartmentals, shite. Fucking idiots, man.
I really, really hope that was satire. Uh, it
Oh,
did make me quite angry.
and there was, I sure ended up pulling out another one of his videos from somewhere on YouTube Shorts, and he shows a clip about conspiracy theories, and it's like it's one from a movie, I think, and it's basically about why do people not leave New York,
Uh-huh.
and it's like because they like it here. And it's like no, how about this? What if New York is actually a new form of concentration camp where we've been brainwashed
God.
to think we're being brainwashed to be the warden and the prisoners, and therefore we can't leave because we can't accept ourselves to leave because we're doing stuff. Anyway, yeah, but that's like from
I
a
feel like
movie.
that guy needs to go to be evaluated.
Yeah, yeah, but that's actually a conspiracy theory from a movie of some sort. I can't remember which one it is.
Yeah, it still needs to
So
be evaluated.
yeah. Anyway, conspiracy theories. Yeah, if you're watching this, please send us your conspiracy theories. We'd love to
Yeah.
understand the idea behind them. Not
Yes,
off flat
please
Earth though.
send your conspiracy theories to our Facebook page, facebook.com/, who's that anime. Post a link, send us a message. I want to know your conspiracy theories, particularly if you have any anime conspiracy theories. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, well, Lane is a good example of this. All that.
It is a bit of a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Anyway, so he takes the drug. Everything's looked at. He stares at girl. Some girl gives a weird stare back. Then he sees what looks like Lane in the back. Also, it pans and shows like her classmates are there too. I think.
Yes, they are
Uh,
there. Yeah.
um, who's giving some bitching to some people because she's very aggressive.
Yeah.
Uh, and then next day, the Lane bumps into her friends walking to school, and they go, "Hey, Lane, were you at Siberia last night?" And she goes, "Huh? What are you on about?" Because that's exactly what how Lane is.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we saw you there, but you were like,
Different,
more like aggressive and shit.
more human.
Yeah. And more in control of yourself, like more sure of yourself. Because obviously she stood up to the dude.
Well, no, it was the other people. I don't think they did anything. They just stared at her.
Oh yeah, no, you're right.
Ew, that's been weird. He was a crazy weirdo in the corner of the club. Story of my life. Not like that. Not like that. I never like clubs. So anyway,
I've never mixed that up.
I usually just sat in the corner, hoping, waiting for the noise to die down. Don't hear anything in the clubs. It's far too noisy.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Continue.
Uh, yeah. So they basically say, "Oh, you should come to us to the Siberia. You'll like it," type thing. Which says, "Nah,
Yep,
it's not my thing."
yep. She's super not into the idea of going to a club
Yeah.
at all.
And then she gets an email. She seems to have a mobile phone in this one. But am I
She does,
jumping
yeah.
ahead? I think I might be jumping ahead in this.
Uh,
Uh,
well, hmm. So yeah, yeah, just a little bit because then after that she goes back home, and that's when the delivery guy, shows up.
think so,
Just
yeah.
after that, yeah, because she goes back home after that day at school where it's explained to her that they saw her there, and I think we find she gets her message asking her if she's coming to Siberia while she's with her new computer.
No, no, no. She does
No?
have a day at school, and she's in a class, and her phone rings in the class because she does look alright, and it's got this cool email where it's like got like a bit of paper with lines on it and margins, and it's like, "Hey,
Oh,
Lane, you should come to Siberia with us tonight." And it's got like
yeah.
a a winky smiley face emoji of the person. By the way, I like to just state there's one thing. I don't like the voice acting for her, whatever her name is, her closest friend.
Friend. It's either Alice,
I think it's Alice.
Julie, or Rika.
I think it's Alice. Alice is like the taller one with the kind of shorter hair, isn't she? It's not the one with the long
Uh,
hair. It's not one with the bunchies. Bunchies.
no. I I think the voice work for Lane is good.
Oh
At
yeah,
least
she's
like it's kind of on point, at least.
yeah. I don't know. I feel like Alice has something in her mouth or something when she speaks. Yeah, but I don't
Well,
know if it's a proper English voice actor. Maybe it's a Japanese person doing English voice acting, so that's fine.
but yeah,
Um,
they do that, but then it's at that point she then goes home right after school.
yeah, and she's got the Navi there.
The delivery,
Yeah.
of the packages with the Navi inside of it, and the guy she's like explaining what it is. The guy's like, "Oh, how do you know it's in here? Are you into that stuff?" And he's like being
No,
really polite and nice and engaged.
yeah, yeah. He's like totally engaged, but she's like. all right, I've got a package for you, delivery type thing. And goes, this Navi is like top of the range. It's like the beast type thing. I just got a homebrew, and he's just talking away to her, and it's like, yeah, oh, it's for you. It's like, yeah, I don't really know anything about this type thing. It's just that,
Yeah,
and he's like, oh, don't worry, you'll know soon enough.
he seems nice, and then just is like, well, gotta go,
Yeah,
bye.
oh, it's delivery
Uh,
guy.
and then we see that her dad comes home, and she's like, hey, help me set up this Navi, and he's like, we'll do it after dinner. She's like, no, do it now.
Yeah. And then this is kind of like the first conversation because she comes down, the dad and the mum are giving it a good deep kiss, as we'll say.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know what's going on there. It doesn't, something's not right about it.
yeah, it feels like a weird family. Um, and then it's like, oh, dinner's kind of ready. We'll do it after dinner.
Yeah,
And says, no, let's do it now. And say, oh, all right, you twisted my arm type thing. And but he's really happy with it. And the wife says, oh, tidy that mess up type thing. In
yeah,
in disdain, it's like doesn't like doesn't
yeah. She's just not into what he's into. It
yeah.
seems at all.
And that was mentioned in the first episode. He does go,
Yeah,
oh, your mother doesn't quite understand the whole concept either.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, she's like, get that mess tied up. And
yeah.
it was kind of harsh tone that was done, and like it was disgusted with the mess. Uh, so they set that up, and then she gets a text message again, another one.
Yeah, asking her to again come to Siberia,
Yeah,
uh, and this time that kind of works.
yeah.
It's
She
like,
said,
yeah, okay, I'll go. Um, and of course she goes and is not dressed for a club at all. She's
nope.
also, I should point out, 14 years old.
Well, I assume their classmates aren't much older than her.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Um, so she goes there and she's walking down the stairs to the place, and three other kids who are also younger than her, I think.
yeah.
Okay, you're in the way, type thing. And she's like, oh, sorry.
That's right. Yeah,
And one of the kids says, oh, if you're going to do that, you're going to get caught.
that's right. What do you think she was meaning?
Um, I don't know, it sounded like it was going to get caught. I don't think it was like the cops kind of get caught type thing. I think it was more kind of like maybe on the wired interaction or something.
Hmm. Hmm.
'Cause it didn't sound like it was like the police would come in and get her. It was something else. Um, then
Yeah, I'm not sure. She goes in anyway, of course.
yeah, meets her friends.
Uh,
They
yep, who
then
mock the way she's dressed.
yeah, and then confirms that yeah, it couldn't have been her that we saw the other night because um yeah, she's not dressed for it. And Alice states, "Oh, next time we go out, I'll get you a dress to wear," type thing.
That like, to me it is weird where it's like I don't know why they want to hang out with her. That's not clear.
Hmm.
And I don't know whether it's just Alice trying to be nice because she's like wanting to try and include someone in the group.
Hmm.
Because the other two don't care.
No, no,
They'll just openly mock Lane to her face. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know what the dynamic here is yet.
yeah. I think you'll get explained. Like I say, it's slow anime. and
Yep.
such. Everything will fall into place sooner rather than later. Anyway, so they meet up and say stuff, and then the guy who was doing the drugs at the start basically
Yep.
appears with a gun. You hear someone, oh, he's got a gun, and it's a gunshot, and then
Yep.
everyone scatters, and he's just kind of waving it around frantically, type thing. And then
Does he shoot someone to start with?
I don't think you see it. It's always just heard off screen.
Yeah.
I don't think he shot someone. You just hear because I think they're saying that. Oh, there's other things as well in the episode. There's a bit in the school where they kind of do like a news kind of broadcast about a seller telling you about the drug because you don't learn about that until about halfway through the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
And it's not quite a drug, not quite illegal.
Well, no, because it's not a drug. It's a
No,
nanomachine that is adjusting your body chemistry.
yeah, and that's
It's
not.
performing the same way as a drug, but it's not a chemical substance.
Yeah, yeah. So it's not illegal. I should also note that he complained about the price that the
He
person
did,
was
yeah. He was
selling too high, like by 6,000 yen.
and yeah, he's come back, which is I think $600, so maybe about £450.
Something like that. I thought it was in yen. I don't think
Hmm?
I thought it was in yen.
No, it will be. That's what I'm translating.
Yeah, no, six, ten
Six.
thousand.
You. I understand it that is it for every 1,000 it's 100,
Uh,
or is it for every 1,000 it's 10?
I think every thousand is 10. I don't know.
Let's see.
Should go back to the time of the anime was made to be more accurate.
Oh, yeah. I'm not gonna do that. It is 110 yen to the dollar.
Yeah,
So 6,000 yen divided by 110.
I think it was 10,000 yen.
10,000 yen?
Yeah, I think it's usually 4,000 yen. Well, same as the difference was
Okay,
6,000.
so it's yeah, it's like 60 pounds,
Yeah,
give or take.
well, that's a nano machine. That seems about right.
Yeah, might
Sure.
buy some Excella.
Yeah, might do that stuff.
Not illegal.
No, no, not in that world. Anyway,
No,
yeah,
no.
he comes in, shoots his gun, everyone scatters, except Lane. She kind of just stands there, just staring at the guy, and then looks at her and goes, "Oh, it's you," because he recognizes
Yep,
her too as being the woman at the start.
yep,
And then Lane kind of Alice goes, "Come on, Lane, we gotta go." And then Lane kind of walks forward to him, and then
yep,
he says something, and then she retorts in because he's like pointing the gun right at her forehead because he got a laser sight on it,
yeah,
so you can see the dot on the forehead. And Lane then goes, just out of any emotion, this goes something like, "You can't escape. We're all connected wherever you go," type thing. I don't think she
yeah. It's
says
like
cannot
we're
escape.
all. She says something like, "We're all connected uh, in the wired, no matter where we are. Like, it doesn't matter. You're always connected." Um, and I feel like that's to me. This is the scene of like her understanding that if she gets a shot in the head, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's one way to spin it. Or she's starting to
Like,
understand her true meaning in life, and she's already connected or something.
potentially, but I guess like what I mean is like her physical form. It is not what matters. So like, there's no the danger is not there. Like it's there's a different way of approaching the scene because like That's not something Lane from the previous episode would have done. She just wouldn't have engaged.
Yeah. Uh, I think so. I think maybe she was possessed by something else. But
Potentially.
I also think that line isn't that what Chelsea Tisa says? The girl who
Chisa.
died. Yeah.
Yep.
Says just before she dies, it's like the thing appears in the kanji written bit. We're all connected.
So I wonder, because of course this is the point to this is that it really shocks the guy. Like he, whatever it is that connection that he's made, it like shocks him to the core, to
Oh,
the point where he,
yeah.
yep,
So
go on.
what he says to Lane is something like the wired reality and wire can't interconnect, can't or it
Hmm.
isn't the same. It doesn't it's not possible for someone in the wire to be in the real world as he
Yep.
stares at Lane. Like there's context in that and then Lane blurts out that we're all connected.
Yeah, and I think like, and the reason that maybe it's that thing of like he's worried about it. Like it's like because he's on that Excel, he's seen that connection and doesn't want it to be the case, but because he's also heard that being said to him
Mhm.
by Chisa potentially from that connection, and then her to say the exact same thing proves the point, right?
Yeah, I think
We're all connected,
yeah.
no matter
I
where you are.
yeah. And then he kind of turns the gun onto himself and shoots it through his head.
Yep,
And with a bit
he
of blood
is.
spurted on Lane, and Lane not reacted.
No, he is super dead.
Yeah. So, and that's the end of that episode. That not really much happens in this episode as such. Like it
Yeah,
moves it on a bit in the sense that there's a drug seems to let you get nanobots in your system, and they manipulate your brain and things to make you think faster and
yep,
see things faster, have a better response time. There seems to be some mumble jumble about people being in real life,
yep.
wired, uh, and from the wired, which might be a bit pretense. The things. And Lane comes very robotic in that scene, I feel.
She does.
She just
Like
pure,
you're right.
yeah. She just like dead stares the guy when she's interacting with him. Like there's no emotion
I
in her eyes.
I think you're right. It's like it almost seems like she's possessed.
Mhm. I mean, the other thing is maybe Lane is a problematic
But,
child, and maybe
you know,
on the spectrum.
there's the potential for all of that. So
Hmm. That's why she doesn't interact with the world properly. That she's on the spectrum.
yeah, we don't know.
No, no.
I mean, I think that's the thing is it's not made super clear. She definitely seems to have behavioral tics that might suggest or hint at like an inability to socialize and maybe some sort of spectrum disorder that you know would match that. Like whether that I don't know. Like I'm no expert,
Hmm.
but yeah, like there's I don't know whether it's like eye contact or an inability to socialize, and these are things that I have seen on you know uh, lists of symptoms for things like that. So it potentially could be something, and it might be something that helps her. There be a strength to that connection that she has with the wired.
Yeah, I think that's
Difficult to say.
kind of what it could be. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's just I don't know, it's a bit more exciting. I feel and
What's your
not
rating
feel.
for it then?
Well, I stick with 6, I think, because I'm thinking about it,
Okay.
and this one moved a lot quicker. It felt
It
like it was
did.
shorter, but wasn't.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 7 because I think it continues that intrigue.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it doesn't show its whole hand yet
that's definitely no. There's still things bubbling away
to
in the
discover.
background. Yeah.
Yep.
Um.
So yeah, I
So
think we're done for today.
one more question.
Oh, go for it.
See, the art style in it is fairly unique, and even the character drawings.
Yes.
The eyes seem to be, I don't know, a lot more clear in that.
In what way?
Well, they seem to focus on the eyes a bit more. They're a bit more not so anime like. They're a lot rounder than.
Yeah, I think anime characters tend to have quite westernized
Oh, I'm not saying like,
eyes anyway.
yeah, but I'm not really saying like that. I just mean kind of, and you always kind of like focuses on kind of like the top half of Lane's face when when you're looking at her straight on type thing. It seems to be drawn to the eyes a bit more.
Yeah, well, they are the windows to the soul.
Yeah, and but they're a lot less emotional in her
Well,
eyes.
her eyes are bigger than everyone else's
Yeah. Her dad eyes certainly look normal.
because they're. I wonder if that's like some sort of really very obvious metaphor for like having your eyes wide open or being able to see more.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're going for in this. I mean, I think these are discussions maybe once we finish watching it and we can probably put
Oh
everything
yeah,
together. Self tape it all
for sure.
together. Have like that big fucking notice board with the strings all pointing to
Oh, the
Lane.
Charlie Day and Always Sunny, like the
Uh
red string, and
yeah,
chain
just
smoking,
yeah.
white shirt and black tie.
Something like that, but not
Yeah,
maybe not so mental.
I don't know. The show seems nuts. So
Yeah, I told you, man. I told you it's certainly up there with Ditchy Charat and the insanity of it all, just not in a
in the
comedic,
randomness. Yeah,
not in a comedic way somehow.
yeah. No, you're not wrong.
But yeah,
You're not wrong.
um, pretty much, yeah, that's it. We'll be back next week with more Lane, Serial Experiments Lane, uh, episodes
So,
3 and 4.
yep, I will to give us the outro. I know we've spoken about certain things already, but as always, you're listening to this podcast either through one of the many podcast feeds, like readers, iTunes or Pocket Cast, Google Podcasts. We're on anchor.fm/who's that anime. Um, tell your friends. Uh, leave a review if you can. That'd be awesome. We're
Mhm.
always willing to hear either praise or criticism. Is it's all good. So
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. Um,
Oh, and
we
our
also have a Facebook page. Oh, go on.
and so and your conspiracy theories.
Oh yes. Make sure to message us your conspiracy theories. Maybe even leave them in the review. Who knows?
Yeah,
Might be able to find those right.
yeah. Let's go down
Uh,
the rabbit hole.
yes, let's do that.
Mhm.
Uh, and you can do that on facebook.com/who's that anime as well. You can send us a message. Grab those. We usually post some anime memes and just when new episodes are coming live in there. As we mentioned earlier, Colin likes to do some live streaming on twitch.tv/couchfuel. You can watch the archive of all of that work if you search for Couchfuel in YouTube. The channel is there. Similarly, sometimes I will do streaming at twitch.tv/hailpayman. I like to stream horror games, and the archive of my stuff is on YouTube as well. You can find that there. And I think that's us.
You mentioned that have some stuff on YouTube for this channel.
We did mention it earlier, but you're right. We now have a YouTube channel that has some stuff on it. We're putting up the video, which is what you will be looking at this point, hopefully. Or it's just another place to listen to the audio. Because there's like some slight trim down on the audio version. It doesn't have the intro and it doesn't have certain bits and pieces in it. So it's sort of an unedited podcast, really, the video, whereas the podcast is the more streamlined version. But they're both available. And we've got the episode 1 of Golden Boy up there for both video and audio at the moment. We'll be starting to put those up pretty regularly now, and hopefully we'll get caught up so that when we put up on the podcast, we'll also put up the different bits and pieces onto YouTube as well.
Yeah, could be good. And as always, stay happy, stay informed, and this has been Who's That Anime? Talking about Serial Experiments Lain before social media became a thing.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
And by that, stay off social media.
Yeah.
Except facebook.com/Who's That Anime. You should go there. That's a nice place. We're nice people, please.
Yeah, and put your conspiracy theories there. I want to read them. I want to read these.
We're gonna go down the rabbit hole. We want to be through the looking glass here, people.
I mean, Alice is in Serial Experiments Lain too.
It's true, she is.
There you go, man.
You were correct.
Maybe this is Lain is an Alice in Wonderland, and all that is just kind of.
You're the best kind of correct, Colin. Technically.
The best kind of correct. I don't think I ever am, but never mind. Right. Ciao, people. We'll catch you in the next time.
The truth is out there. Watch the skies.
Oh, Jesus. Right, we're stopping this. No more. I'm done.
Bye.
What are you looking at?
Lain, hurry! Wake up, Lain! Come on! Lain! Lain, please!
Just get out of here! Huh? Why are you making me do this? What right do you have? I just wanted to clear my head. You don't understand. You just don't understand it. I don't know anything about this. I don't know anything, but that's your gun. It's not my gun. It's got nothing to do with me. Just leave me out of it. Just leave me out of it. Just leave me out of it. The wire can never interfere with the real world. Just leave me out of it, will ya? Who the hell are you?
Lain!
Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it.
No matter where you are, everyone is always connected.